Growing up, I was definitely aware that there was a lot of trash, but it's just one of those things that you ignore, and I think a lot of Hong Kong people just kind of turn a blind eye and ignore it. The common notion is it's a financial hub, which it definitely is, but about 3/4 is countryside, country parks, beaches, beautiful coastline, and that's sort of the side that people don't see. The day it all changed, I went to a beach called Big Wave Bay with my friend, and we went paddle boarding, and that was early on when I got the drone, and my original intention was to make a video of the beautiful shots of Hong Kong. So that was sort of the first spot that I wanted to go to, and we went out on the paddle boards. I put out the drone, and we were noticing a lot of trash in the water, but I went back home to edit the footage, and there was just trash everywhere. It was just the angle, the drone perspective was something I've never seen before, and it really showed the scale of how bad it was. I think without the drone, I probably would have just kept ignoring it. It was so bad, I just decided there that I needed to do something about it, or at least look into it. So that next week, one of my friends, Leia, who has this organization, Oceanic Global, was doing a beach cleanup. So it was kind of perfect timing in a sense. In that same week before the beach cleanup, I was sort of speaking to a few friends about the footage I had, and one of my friends put me onto this guy, Moran, who's very big into trash in Hong Kong, specifically medical waste. Before I met Moran, I knew nothing about medical waste in Hong Kong. Since he lives right next to the beach, every day he'd sort of go and see what trash is there, and in 6 months he collected hundreds, if not thousands, of syringes, along with vials of blood, other medical waste, and they gave it to the environmental department in Hong Kong, and they did an investigation, and basically after a few months they sent a letter back saying, you know, we can't determine where it's come from, we're gonna basically drop the case, and thank you for your enthusiasm. Moran put me on to Paul Zimmerman, who's part of the Hong Kong government, and he's a big activist in the trash and environmental space. I wanted to have a balanced view on it, so I wanted to go to the gazetted beaches as well as sort of these more isolated beaches. Gazetted beaches are the ones that are cleaned every day by the government. So to a typical Hong Kong person, you'd go to a gazetted beach and it would look very beautiful, you know, very clean, but the reason why it's clean is because it's cleaned up to 7 times a day. Also went to a place called Trash Bay, which is right next to Sheko, and it's sort of notorious to be the worst beach, and it definitely was. There was so much trash. It was, it was styrofoam, plastic bottles, toothbrushes, I mean, you name it, everything you could find, everything you could imagine. Where does the trash come from? It's really tough to say. I think a lot of it, or I know a lot of it, is definitely coming from China, and just purely from the simplified Chinese on a lot of the trash that you find on the beach. A lot of it has to come down the Pearl River Delta, and it just so happens Hong Kong's there, and Hong Kong gets hit by it. One argument is it's coming from China. The other argument is a lot of it's coming from Hong Kong, which is definitely the case. You find trash on the beach that you would only find in Hong Kong, companies that are only located in Hong Kong. So it's a good mix of both. Going on the beaches, seeing all the trash, seeing the styrofoam, my mindset changed, and I'd go into the supermarkets and you'd see styrofoam around an apple, or excessive plastic on fruit, or just any sort of packaging. You really just start to notice, and you realize how ridiculous our packaging is in supermarkets, and it's insane. I think Hong Kong's probably one of the worst. We've created this material that lasts forever, essentially, and even though it might break down into tiny pieces and it might be harder to see, it's still there, and it's almost scarier when it's broken down into small pieces because it gets into the water, the fish start to eat it, and then suddenly plastic and styrofoam are becoming us. We're consuming it, and it's affecting our bodies in ways that we don't even know yet. Hong Kong has 3 landfills to my knowledge, and the last landfill in Hong Kong is going to fill up in 2019. So I know there have been talks about building an incinerator and other different ways of getting rid of the trash, but the point is Hong Kong people are known to consume a lot of trash or use a lot of items that then become trash. So it's just scary to think that what's going to happen after 2019. If no one's really changing their habits, then I don't know what's going to happen. What can Hong Kong people do? And I think there are many things, and just when you talk about grassroots basics, it's just not using plastic bags, bringing a non-plastic bag to the supermarket, having a water bottle and not constantly buying bottles from 7-Eleven. It's sort of an issue that's only going to get worse if we don't tackle it as soon as possible. So I think attacking it at the source it's crucial. That's the only thing we can do.